AI may not eliminate most white-collar jobs, but it is already changing what those jobs actually are. In offices across America, the shift is already visible. Reports get drafted faster. Research gets summarized instantly. Customer questions get routed by machines. Documentation gets automated in the background. So the real question is not just, will AI replace white-collar workers? It is, which tasks disappear? Which tasks become more valuable? And who adapts fast enough to stay on the right side of that line? This is Capital Chronicles, and today, we are breaking down how AI and automation are reshaping white-collar work in the United States. The headline is more complicated than jobs destroyed. McKinsey estimates that by 2030, work activities accounting for up to 30% of current U.S. work hours could be automated. But it also argues that many higher-skill white-collar jobs, especially in business and legal work, are more likely to be augmented than wiped out. At the same time, the Bureau of Labor Statistics projects the U.S. economy to add 5.2 million jobs from 2024 to 2034. So this is not a story where work simply vanishes. It is a story where the composition of work changes. That means some workers will lose routine tasks, some will lose whole roles, and some will become dramatically more productive if they learn how to work with the systems replacing the old workflow. Finance is one of the clearest examples of AI as an accelerator. McKinsey says generative AI in finance can already help with drafting commentary, summarizing performance, and supporting scenario modeling. That means the lower-value parts of analysis get faster, while the human role shifts upward toward judgment, interpretation, and decision-making. And the labor market data reflects that nuance. On one side, more routine back-office roles are vulnerable. The Bureau of Labor Statistics projects bookkeeping, accounting, and auditing clerks to decline 6% from 2024 to 2034. On the other side, higher-level analytical roles still grow. Financial analysts, for example, are projected to grow 6% over the same period. So in finance, AI is not just replacing people, it is compressing the value of routine production work and increasing the value of interpretation, client communication, and risk judgment. Law is similar, but with its own twist. A lot of legal work contains exactly the kinds of tasks AI is good at: document review, first-pass drafting, research support, translation, and standard form generation. McKinsey notes that AI can speed research, translation, document generation, pre-population, and document review, freeing lawyers for higher-value analysis and advice. The Bureau of Labor Statistics projects paralegals and legal assistants to show little or no employment growth from 2024 to 2034, and notes that advances in AI may limit demand by making research and document preparation more efficient. That does not mean law disappears. It means the premium shifts away from repetitive drafting and toward strategy, negotiation, judgment, and client trust. Healthcare looks different, because AI in this sector often lands first in administrative burden, not bedside care. McKinsey says more than 70% of surveyed healthcare organizations were already pursuing or had implemented generative AI capabilities. It also points to uses in prior authorization, claims processing, revenue cycle work, and service operations. That helps explain why some healthcare admin roles feel pressure, while others become more important. The Bureau of Labor Statistics projects medical transcriptionists to decline 5% from 2024 to 2034, but medical record specialists are projected to grow 7%. So the pattern is clear. AI strips out pure transcription and repetitive administrative work faster than it removes information management, compliance, and record quality work. If you zoom out, the most exposed white-collar roles tend to share three traits. They are repetitive, they are rules-based, and they involve producing the same format over and over again. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says automated systems, including AI, are expected to contribute to declining employment of office and administrative support workers. That is why roles like bookkeeping clerks, some administrative support, And in medical transcription and parts of legal support look especially vulnerable. The danger zone is not white-collar in general. It is routine information processing inside white-collar work. At the same time, some occupations become more valuable because AI increases the need for technical integration, oversight, and data-driven decision-making. The Bureau of Labor Statistics projects data scientists to grow 34%. Software developers, quality assurance analysts and testers to grow 15%, and medical records specialists to grow 7%. The Bureau of Labor Statistics also notes that demand for software developers is tied in part to continued expansion of software for AI, robotics, the Internet of Things, and automation applications. So while some white-collar tasks are getting cheaper, the jobs that design, monitor, integrate, govern, and interpret these systems become more central. This is why AI can feel threatening and opportunity-rich at the same time. The most useful way to think about AI is not by job title, it is by task bundle. Tasks more likely to be replaced or compressed. First draft summaries, repetitive reporting, form filling, routine document review, transcription, standard customer response workflows. Tasks more likely to be augmented. Decision-making under uncertainty. Client communication. Negotiation. Cross-functional problem-solving. Quality control. ICE compliance judgment. Turning raw outputs into action. That is the real split. The worker who only produces routine output is more exposed. The worker who can direct systems, validate output, and make better decisions with AI becomes more valuable. For white-collar workers, the threat is not always immediate unemployment. Often, it is a slower problem. Your old workflow becomes less valuable, your output becomes easier to replicate, and your role gets measured against someone who can do the same job faster with AI support. That is why the safest position is not human versus machine. It is the human who knows how to use the machine. In practice, that means the premium rises for workers who can frame better questions, check outputs, understand data, spot risks, and communicate what actually matters. AI changes the production layer first, then it changes the career ladder. So, what should people actually learn? First, data literacy. You do not need to become a machine learning researcher, but you should understand spreadsheets, dashboards, basic statistics, and how to question output. Second, workflow automation basics. That can mean Python, SQL, no-code tools, prompt design, or AI-enabled office tools. The point is not to become a full-time engineer. It is to stop being helpless around automated systems. Third, domain expertise and AI fluency. The most durable workers are often the ones who understand both the business and the tools. And fourth, communication. As AI lowers the cost of raw output, the ability to explain, persuade, synthesize, and judge becomes more valuable, not less. The future belongs less to people who merely produce information and more to people who can direct it. For viewers researching the investment side of this trend, there are several automation and AI-linked exchange-traded funds people often look at. Examples include BOTZ, focused on robotics and AI adoption, with a 0.68% expense ratio. ARKQ, an actively managed autonomous technology and robotics ETF, with a 0.75% expense ratio. And ARTY, iShares AI and Technology ETF, with a 0.47% expense ratio. This is not a recommendation. It is simply where many investors start when they want a basket approach, instead of trying to pick individual winners. AI is not ending white-collar work, but it is rewriting what white-collar work pays for. Less value in repetition, more value in judgment, less reward for process alone, more reward for insight, oversight, and adaptability. And that means the biggest question is no longer whether AI arrives. It is whether workers adapt before the job description does.